It's been a while, I know. But I just wanted to come to you and give you a little bit of an update of what's happening in my life and just kind of where things are at, specifically with this Pilates journey. So I have somewhere to go tonight, so I'm just going to do my makeup while I talk to y'all. So as you all know, I started my Pilates certification with doing the mat core 1. I just wanted to start just with core 1 because I'm only like 2 years into like my whole Pilates journey, and majority of it has been with the reformer. But to become an instructor, to be able, like a classical trained instructor specifically for the mat, it takes a while. It takes a long time. So I kind of was like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on the mat, and that sounded real cool, like real cool. But it's intense. It's much more intense than what I thought it was gonna be. So I'm actually doing my training through Power Pilates. It's based out of New York City. Of course, I live in North Carolina, so I'm doing the virtual program, and it's been good. Like, all of the instructors have been super helpful, informative. I probably have had like one instructor that was just not forgiving at all. I feel like they wanted me to come in being like A++, and it was a beginner's mat class, so it was only one time where I just kind of felt a little defeated. And if that's one time out of the 15 classes that I've taken since I've signed up for the instructor course, so I'll take that. And I just, whenever I see his name up there, I just don't sign up for his class. So pretty much when you sign up, you have to take 5 classes, and once you've taken your 5 classes, you can then take a test to, it's actually an assessment. You do your assessment, and when you do the assessment, you have to know the whole beginner mat sequence order for Pilates. Well, I took that first one, and let me tell y'all, I failed. Now, I was doing a challenge. I talked about it in my last video. I was doing a 30-day challenge, and on that 30-day challenge, I couldn't have any alcohol. I wasn't eating any fast food. I mean, it was a very clean, strict diet. And I usually do them right around the beginning of the year, just to kind of cleanse from all the holiday stuff or whatever. And during that time, with the Monday that I was supposed to actually take my exam was my first free weekend of being on that challenge. And I had an event. I had a Valentine's Day event. If you all didn't know, I'm an event planner, but I also plan events specifically for women. We do them pretty much anywhere, but of course I live in North Carolina, so a lot of our events are North Carolina based. But we had a Valentine's Day event, and it was my first time drinking alcohol. Now, that whole week I kept saying, Sabrina, you might want to drink a little something just to get yourself acclimated before the event, and I didn't. So that was my first drink. It was February, because Valentine's Day is February 13th. So it was February 10th. That was my first drink of the new year. And I had a good time. I didn't even get like sick or anything crazy like that, because I had a wedding the next day too. Because like I said, I'm a wedding planner. So I had a whole wedding. And then so on that Monday, the day before Valentine's Day, was the day that I was supposed to be taking my exam. Well, to be observed for my exam. Y'all, I've already said it. I failed. She was like, you need to go back. You need to take 5 more classes. And basically, you need to practice some. And it wasn't even really that I had to practice, but I needed to know the order. Like, I needed to be able to be fluent and proficient in the order. And so, anyway, I go back. I didn't feel defeated at all, because one thing about me is that I'm a realist. And I wasn't prepared. I still had alcohol, vodka in my system from the weekend. I partied pretty much, because then it was Super Bowl. I was like, something else happened that weekend. Yeah, that Sunday it was Super Bowl as well. And so I wasn't prepared, you know. So I went back. I took 5 more classes, and then I retested. So I retested maybe I would say about a week or so later, and I passed. Yes, I did. So I went ahead, I made it through, I passed, and then at that point is where you start to do your coursework. Y'all, the coursework literally took me one evening to... I'm not doing these eyebrows that well either, y'all. But the coursework literally took me like one evening to complete. Like, it was so easy and it was so simple. So once you finish the coursework, that's when you start going into these things called round robins. And in the round robins, that's where you have an opportunity to meet with the virtual instructors, and they like... It's a round robin. So it was 4 people in my first class, which was today. And we all had a chance to call out an exercise. So today was my first time. I didn't know what to expect. It said, like, on the thing when they send it, they're like, be prepared to work out and be prepared for this and all that. So I was like ready to go. Like, I was on my mat. I was ready to go. Well, we get on there and she's like, okay, we're going to go. I'm going to answer a few questions for you all. And then this is kind of how the class will go. Like, I had a really, really good instructor today. Like, super impressed. She's actually in North Carolina, so I was happy about that. But we're going through, and y'all, I sounded crazy. Like, in comparison to the other women that were on there, they did so much better than me. Like, calling out the exercises and everything. Now, this was my first time. I hadn't even, because listen, I literally just finished the coursework on Friday. And so today is Saturday, and I'll jump right into class. And so this was a time where, again, I had an opportunity to teach. But it was like, you know, the teacher's teaching me or whatever. Like, I didn't have the voice. I just didn't have the confidence. I just didn't do good. And the whole time I was on there, I just kept thinking, like, am I really equipped for this? Like, I was, like, the self-doubt was, like, setting in crazy. Because I'm usually pretty confident and good at anything that I put my mind to. But this is different, y'all. Like, this is something that I have never experienced. I've always been pretty adamant about how I didn't want to be a fitness instructor. And while I do understand that Pilates is, you know, fitness as well, I just kind of view it a little differently. I feel like it's just a much more boutique, intimate, expensive, you know, style of, you know, fitness that I just don't group it with some of the other things that most people group Pilates with. So anyways, we'll go ahead and just move forward from that, because I'm here and there's no need in convincing myself anymore about it. But I just, y'all, today was very humbling. I just really, I encourage us all to sign up for something and do something that we're not that well in, because I really think that it's going to allow us to, you know, appreciate the skills and the crafts that we have and that we bring. Because I don't think you understand how much most of us, we wake up and we do most of our work with our eyes closed. Most people, you know, us in our late 30s, hitting 40s or early 40s, or if you're even older than that, most of us have been operating in our professions for, you know, at least 10 years at minimum. And so our job is easy, but changing careers and changing focus, that if you ever want to like really stimulate your mind, really, you know, test out your skill sets, really challenge yourself professionally, because maybe you are just not feeling professionally fulfilled, go like turn a passion project or something you're passionate about, turn that into a potential viable income for you. Because y'all, I don't think y'all understand like just how silly I felt today. Like I really felt like I sounded crazy. I felt like everyone was just like internally laughing at me. Like it was a whole cluster of emotions that were running through my body. And again, it's just, I'm just not used to feeling this way, because I'm just used to always being so proficient and being like highly sought after as it relates to like events and even some mental health work. Because I've told you all that, you know, I was a social worker before, so I still have, you know, colleagues and stuff like that will call me because they may need some assistance with, you know, some auditing or whatever the case may be that they may have going on at their agencies and so forth. And it just, and again, those are just things that I can do with my eyes closed. So, I definitely, as soon as we got off on the Zoom, like I just kind of stared off into space. And before you know it, like 3 or 4 teardrops just started coming down my eyes. And I was like, Sabrina, there's no way that you are crying right now. Like I was actually pretty disappointed in myself that I was crying. But those were real emotions. It's just how I felt. Because again, I just have never been so challenged in my professional career as I was today. Like it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened in years. So, as that was happening, one of the girls who was actually taking the class, who's more so, she's kind of going the more classical approach now. So she has to kind of come back and do some of the early work. So she's an apprentice basically. And so she immediately sent me a message and was like, hey, you seem super nervous. You seem like you have the skill set, but you were crazy nervous. And I want to afford you the opportunities to FaceTime me whenever you need extra help. You know, just know that we were all beginners before. This is normal. Don't beat yourself up off of it. Like, everything's basically going to be okay. And I was just like, she doesn't even know that she just saved my whole day. Because all I was thinking about was just coming and crawling into bed and not going to this event tonight. That's just how bad I felt. Because there was just no way. There was no way. So I really appreciated her for even reaching out and doing that. And I've told you all, I've been transparent about it. You know, this Pilates it's not a lot of us in there. And she was not a black woman that reached out and said anything to me. But she's definitely, I think she's a woman of color for sure. And so I appreciated it. Little did she know. And again, it just reminded me, like, you know, I remember when I first became an event planner, like just how I didn't know what I was doing either then. But it's not like I was like I was able to kind of figure it out and make it my own. And she pretty much assured me that this is no different. Like, there are standard things that you should, you know, keep in line as it relates to becoming a Pilates instructor. Just, you know, to kind of stick with the principles and the morals of it. But she just kept saying, you need to make this your own. Like, you're a black woman. You know how to talk to them. You not even them, but you know how to connect. You have an upper hand in really shining your light and making this something bigger and better for you and your population. But don't try to sound like the people that are typically on here teaching and so forth. Like, cause she was like, I think that was probably my downfall. Is that I was too busy trying to be like, all right, and so now you need to lay your hands down and then roll your head up through your shoulders. And 1, 2, 3, 4, inhale. 1, 2, 3, exhale. And that's not me. So beyond that, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else too juicy happening in my life. Again, I'm just really laser focused on getting this Pilates situation underway, because the level of just defeatment that I felt today was insane, and I haven't felt that way in I don't know how long. So if you ain't talking to me about Pilates or some business or something of that nature, I just really haven't been too motivated to have a conversation, because I'm just not trying to be looking crazy out here. There's already not a whole lot of us. And the practice, you know, because it's not a whole lot of us, a lot of black people are just not as familiar with the practice, or they have like internalized it that it's not for us and that, you know, we're not welcome in the space. So I just want to be good. I'm sure that I'm not being the most gentle with myself, but it's just how I feel. So yeah, hopefully in the next, you know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I have some better news for you all. But I will stay in this practice mode until I feel better. And you can guarantee that. I am in no rush. I wanted to do like some kind of launch event a little early and try to celebrate Women's History Month and so forth. But if I'm not ready, I'm not doing it. Like, no one's going to convince me. I've been having people that have like brought it up to me about doing something, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not ready. And I think we just have to start getting to a place with that. It's like, just because people like, I'm always going to use Beyonce, Rihanna as examples, until they're ready. Like, Beyonce will wait years before she gives us another album or a song. And it's not that she hasn't been working on it. It's just that she's not going to rush it. Like, sis be like, I mean, it's done, but y'all ain't going to hear it until I think it's perfect. And that's kind of where I'm at with this too. It's like, I'm not about to rush it, because I almost halfway regret even like putting it out in the atmosphere that I was doing it, because now I'm getting like the pressure from the people, and I'm not mad at them for that, because that means that there is a need. And so I kind of needed to have these conversations to kind of just determine like what the level of interest will be with people. So it's cool, you know. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. I will make sure to show you all the completed look and everything, and not in this t-shirt and my hair wrap. But Good luck to those who are in their Pilates journey. Thanks for those who are curious about my journey. The next time I log in here, trust and believe I will be a certified instructor. So give me all a heads up that it might be a little bit of a sabbatical or it might be fast. We'll see. Wish me luck. See you next time.